So today, lads, we're going to be talking a little bit about this game right here. And this is a topic that I do deem to be a quote unquote main channel topic rather than a quote unquote second channel topic. So it'll be a link in the comment section below where we've got basically a channel where topics maybe that aren't going to be as important for this channel are going to be covered, which is like talking about, say, like, I don't think people on this channel necessarily give a damn about how the third round pick is going to probably start point guard for the Washington Mystics. Nor do I think they really care about Lauren Betts. Maybe they do care about Lauren Betts dropping an absolute stinker in game 1. 0 points. But yeah, it's one of these things where I think this one matters because Temi is a player to play for the Fever and is a relevant player. And I think a lot of people have felt and the Fever should have tried to get Temi. And for me, I did feel like the Fever should have tried to get Temi. But I thought initially, when people were talking about getting Temi, we were working on the assumption that Mo Billings was being paid around 500k. We were working on the assumption that Lexi was being paid about 600k. That, that Temi was going to be again, in and around that range, 600k. Not that Temi was going to be $1 million. I don't think anyone wanted the Fever to pay $1 million for Temi. That being said, Temi might have been the worst free agency signing. And do you want to know why I say that? She got benched for a development player. She started the game, obviously, today. And she played 16 minutes for the Toronto Tempo. So you're looking here. You're seeing she played 16 minutes. And in those 16 minutes, she played 10 in the first half. So to start the second half, she was benched for Tiani Key. Again, look, she had 2 points, 0 field goals, missed a 3, 1 rebound, 1 assist, 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. Yes, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 turnovers. 4 turnovers. And she shot a dribble. When she came on in the third quarter, shot a dribble, pull-up fadeaway. And Tiani Key came in. And Tiani Key struggled. Like, look, Tiani Key's not that good. I don't think she's bad. Like, but I'm sorry, she's not great. She's not great. Not at the W level. And not only that, afterwards, after Tiani Key comes in, who is the first sub to come in? Fasuola. Mariella Fasuola. The development player. Then when Fasuola picks up 2 fouls in 2 possessions, or maybe was it 2 in the same possession, maybe, Temi then gets subbed in. They were not, if Fasuola had played well, she didn't even play a preseason game. They brought in a development player who didn't play a preseason game. And Temi was so bad that Sandy Brondello said, we're going to bring in the development player that I've never seen play basketball. I've never seen play a game of basketball before. And I'm going to be real here. Because people are saying, oh, you know, I remember seeing a post being like, why did the Fever not sign her? And I was like, 1, she's not particularly good. And 2, who are like, oh, the Fever should got over tempo. I'm like, 2, look, the Indiana Fever do have a problem with scouting. They only sign people, a lot of the time they sign people based on relationships. Do you know who Fasuola's college coach was? It was Stephanie White. If she was good enough, she would be on the Fever because of the way the Fever work purely based on where people were born or who they've had as their coaches or their relationships. All of that. Absolutely all of that. The Indiana Fever can take advantage of all of that. That being said, it is like she's just not great. She still got in over Temi. And I understand it was only for a few possessions. But like that is how little that they gave her a run. They paid $6,000 by putting her on the floor. The organization, she was willing to take a $6,000 to pay $6,000. And I understand. Probably gets paid even if she doesn't get on the floor if she's a dead player, but still. It's a funny point to mention that they cost $6,000 to just to not put Temi on the floor. I'm being real. Like, this was a performance where I'm watching and I'm like, man, she can't even really catch the ball anymore. Like, Temi is good at one thing, and it's defense. And on the offensive end, she's very good at running the floor. There's nothing else really that Temi does well. I'm going to be real here. She's not going to do anything in the half court. She's not a completely incapable shooter. Not a good shooter. She's not completely incapable. Like, if you put her at the 5 and you have, or even her at the 4, and you have Aaliyah beside her, or you have Rupert beside her, or you have, let's just say other hypotheticals. If you had a Stewie beside her, if you had an Aja beside her, if you had, even Alana Smith beside her, a Fee, she can be a really good role player. The problem is she's getting paid $1 million, and she's got Niara Sabli beside her, and Niara Sabli's, look, she's okay. Don't get twisted, like, she's okay. But then, like, when you've got Sykes and Mabry on your team who are just going to put up bullshit, and then Alamon trying to run the show with a team who puts up bullshit. Oh my God. It's like, the only player I was impressed with on this team was Jaskaida, which I talked about again earlier today. But it's really telling for Temi, where it's like she's just not getting looking. No, well, not she's not getting looking. She's almost playing her way onto a bench while getting paid $1 million. And you know what? Like, I know people might be like, oh, she doesn't care what you think. Yeah, she shouldn't care. And she has a million reasons not to care what any of us think. She has a million reasons. And Temi, absolutely go cash your checks, because you know what? You played your fucking heart out for the Indiana Fever. So go cash those checks. On a minimum, you played your heart out. You were playing for $68K 2 years ago. Go make your $1 million. But like, this might be the worst contract in free agency. $1 million for a player who game 1 got benched, not only for a second round pick, but game 1 in the second half was further down in the rotation than a development player that's not even on the roster. That's bad. For a $1 million player, that's bad.